Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Newman Bond, the official podcast of Newman University. My name is Jack Schaefer. I'm an alumni here of Newman University of 2020, and I'm here with Miss Kansas and another Newman alumni, Alexis Smith. Hey, Alexis.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. As I was telling you, I got off my 7 to 7 shift, got some sleep, but now I'm here, ready to do the job as Miss Kansas.
That's awesome. And congratulations once again on becoming Miss Kansas. Now, when was the last time you were here on campus, and how does it feel to be back?
It felt weird, actually, driving here a little bit. But the last time I was here was in May of 2023, finishing my finals, prepping for the NCLEX, and also Miss Kansas at the same time. But, you know, coming here, it's just kind of a reminder of the work that I put in and a reflection of where I get to be now.
Exactly. That's a great answer. And so I know some Newman Jets know you, but for those of us who don't, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Maybe not Miss Kansas related, but just about your hobbies in general, what your interests are outside of that.
Right. So outside of pageantry, I am a huge family friend girl. I spend time watching my cousins play basketball. I tell everybody that is a year-round hobby for me, going to be able to support them because it's nonstop. But it's a real great way for me to be able to stay connected with my family with having such a busy schedule. I also love to take walks downtown with my friends and also do nice little wine and paint nights.
That's very exciting. There's so much fun stuff to do around here, that's
yeah.
for sure. So we heard that one of the skills that you have and that you use for the Miss Kansas organization was ventriloquism.
Yes.
So how did you get interested in ventriloquism, and what's the story there? Could you share a little bit about that?
Yes, so my aunt, she's a self-taught ventriloquist.
Okay.
And she also actually competed in Miss Kansas back in the 90s. So that's something special that we share. But I started pageantry at a really young age, and I needed a talent. And so at the age of 6, she said, "Are you ready to learn?" And I was ready. And so I posted this picture recently, actually, with me holding the first ventriloquism doll that I ever used. And it's this little cotton doll with these red little pigtails. And so it's going to be special to pull out Aaliyah later and kind of see the difference between when I was 6 to 25 and how I've progressed.
Well, Alexis, forget about later. Would you like to show us your skills with Aaliyah now?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do
that. Awesome. Let's do it.
Hello, everybody! I'm so excited to be here with Alexis for this interview. I never get to come.
Hey, Aaliyah, why doesn't Alexis ever get to take you to any interviews?
I don't know. She just keeps me in a suitcase unless it's time for me to perform.
Well, you're doing great right now. Did you pick out your own outfit?
No, she still hasn't changed my outfit from Miss Kansas, even though she gets all the outfits that she wears all week long.
Yeah, I think you should get a matching orange one and a sash as well.
I think so too. I think she needs to get every color. That way I'm always prepared.
Well, Aaliyah, what are some fun facts about you?
Well, I have a brother. His name was Alan. He couldn't be here today, but that's okay. I'm the favorite, of course. And I am the star of the show.
Of course she is. Well, can we transition back to the star of the Newman Bond,
Absolutely.
Alexis Smith? I don't mean to take you away so soon. I'm sorry.
It's nothing new.
That is so amazing. You are very, very talented.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. And speaking of talents, so I know that you juggle. You spoke about it at the very beginning, nursing and pageantry. So how do you do it? How do you have enough time in the day to be able to do both those things?
You know, I'm still figuring it out myself. It's been 3 weeks as Miss Kansas. I work full-time with both of these jobs. And so in July, I plan on just working 1 shift a week as a nurse. But the great thing about continuing my job as a nurse is that the Miss America organization also has a partnership with the American Heart Association.
Nice.
And I'm a cardiothoracic ICU nurse. So it's kind of taking both of these life careers, putting them together, and really having a special outcome.
Yeah. Speaking of those careers, did you learn anything while you were a nursing student here at Newman that maybe you use to help you just in life in general, but maybe with Miss Kansas as well?
Absolutely. As a nursing student, we spend several hours in clinical. going out to the hospital and really building those nursing skills. And one of the biggest skills that you can learn as a nurse is being able to connect with others and being able to have those conversations despite any demographic that you're talking to. And so as Miss Kansas, somebody that's going to be traveling across the state of Kansas and hopefully also across the nation, it's very important that I'm able to connect with other people.
Yeah, I agree. And you shared a little bit of advice there. That was actually going to be another question of mine. Do you have any general advice for aspiring nurses or for maybe current nurses that are maybe struggling right now?
Absolutely. I would just say keep pushing. Nursing school, it is the hardest thing I have ever encountered, but it's absolutely worth it if it is a passion of yours. I would say the growth that I've had being able to really implement that nursing career, even outside of my nursing career, again, being able to connect with others, but also we all have health. Mm-hmm. And so being able to apply that knowledge to others around me is really special.
Yeah, that is. And how did you end up choosing Newman University for your nursing school?
It's very interesting, actually. So I moved to Texas probably the year or two before I started the nursing program here to escape an abusive relationship. And, at one point I was like, I'm ready to start my future, start my career. At that point, Newman University was one of the only school options to have interviews for the nursing program. But the great thing about it is I knew that this would be one of the best programs for me.
That's awesome. And transitioning back to Miss Wichita, so I know you have family ties with the ventriloquism, but do you have any inspirations or what made you get started with pageantry in general? You've been at it for so long.
I know, I truly think it was meant to be. My aunt, she had all boys. She didn't have a daughter. And my mom had me. I was the only child for the longest time. And so I was that girl that was going to follow into her footsteps.
There we go.
And I just loved it. The organization I grew up in, it's connected with multiple different states. And so the exciting part is that every single year, at least twice a year, you're getting to connect with these other women, or not women at that time, young girls,
sure,
who share the same aspirations as you. And you just get to grow up together within the organization and transition into organizations like the Miss America Opportunity.
Yeah, because you started with Miss Wichita, correct? And you ended up becoming Miss Wichita what year again?
That was I held that from 2022 to 2023.
Okay,
yep.
Sweet. And what was your biggest takeaways from that? And maybe how did Miss Wichita, your preparation there, get you to where you're at right now?
As Miss Wichita, that's when I really took a leap into this organization. The biggest part is community service. And so I started working with the Wichita Family Crisis Center.
Oh, cool.
I became very intentional about making connections within the community. And those are connections that I still have today as Miss Kansas, and which is going to benefit this organization tremendously. And so I would say the biggest takeaway is that sense of community and really getting to explore more of Wichita and the people that are here.
Sure. Now, what are your favorite and ultimate goals? I know you probably have a lot when you're 3 weeks in to being Miss Kansas.
Yes.
What's your ultimate goal with it?
I plan on coming back to Newman University.
Oh, do you?
Actually, I want to do the CRNA program, the Certified Registered Nurse Anesthesis program, after at least a minimum of 2 years working in the cardiothoracic ICU. So I'm hoping to come back here.
That's very exciting. That's awesome. Well, we would love to have you back, that's for sure. But I want to get that moment. I want to know how it feels, like all your work culminating to that moment of your name, Alexis Smith, being called on stage. How did it feel? What was going through your head? Could you run me through that moment?
Oh my goodness. So, just within the top 5, starting with the top 5, historically, this organization hasn't been the most diverse, but that's okay because it's changing and it's growth. But this year, the whole top 5 were all women of color. And so just with even, 4th runner-up, 3rd runner-up, 2nd, and so far on, I knew that the next Miss Kansas was going to be a woman of color. And for me, the thoughts running through my mind is what an incredible opportunity that this is going to be to help expand this organization. So when it came hand in hand with a great friend of mine, Courtney Price Dukes, the words that we were sharing is we are making history right now.
Yeah.
I am the 3rd Black Miss Kansas from over 80 years. And as our society continuously transitions, I want to be that woman that's also able to transition with it. So I was just in absolute awe, not in awe, but in awe of everything that was happening in that moment. Every Miss Kansas will say that moment becomes a blank, and it truly is.
Sure.
But it's really just those moments and those emotions leading up to that moment that I can really transpire.
Yeah, you did a great job doing that as well. And that's so awesome. The third in 80 years. Things are changing though, and that's exciting. You're at the very forefront of it as well.
Oh my goodness, I know.
That's awesome.
It's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congrats once again. But I was curious, so when it comes to running on certain platforms, I know when Miss Kansas goes around the state, they kind of focus on certain things. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a focus on dating and healthy relationships, right?
So my platform's called Respect Reclaimed, advocating for healthy relationships. And the core of that is domestic violence. For myself, I'm someone who fell into my family cycle of abuse in 2014 at the age of 14. And from there, I recognized that my story was being reflected as I began working with youth. And so I knew that this platform would be a great platform to be able to advocate on the behalf and make significant change as Miss Kansas.
That's awesome. That's such a great answer too. So personally, what does it mean to your family as well? Like when the supportive day ones, as they call them, how have they been feeling through this process too?
They are head over heels. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, they're already talking Miss America. Miss America, it's in January, so it's coming up. But
Sure.
I'm like, let me just soak in this moment, just really quick.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, they are fully ready to support me in every single thing that's coming forward, and they are definitely Miss America ready.
That's awesome. And so Newman supporters can support you. They're home
Absolutely.
girl. We have to support our fellow
Yes.
Jet, of course. Do you have a few links or places we can specifically help you?
Absolutely. So I have an email, bookings@misskansas.org is the way to be able to book me. And also one thing that I am looking for is donors. It costs to have Miss Kansas go and present and be out in the community, but unfortunately it's not accessible for all individuals. So I'm looking for donors that would want to donate to Miss Kansas to be able to put me in different places across the state of Kansas for individuals that aren't able to afford it.
That's a great idea. And to kind of close things out here, it's actually not about Miss Kansas. It's about how you want to transform society afterwards. I know you want to continue your nursing work and come back to school here,
Absolutely.
but anything else that you would like to add to that?
Well, as a cardiothoracic ICU nurse, the biggest thing is being able to educate people on heart health. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer globally. And so to be able to be a part of that education and the preventative education is super special, and I plan on continuing that throughout my educational career.
Well, I'm excited to see what you do, Alexis, and congratulations. We're rooting for you to become Miss America as well as your family.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Well, you heard it here first at the Newman Bond with Miss Kansas 2024 and Newman alum Alexis Smith. We will be airing our episodes every first and third Tuesday on YouTube, so check out the Newman Bond there, and we'll be seeing you next time.
I was like, what? I have no
I
idea.
get a lot more blessings out of that.
Really fun experience.
Really the Newman experience.